Ridin say he wants some beef with me. What? He wants some who? I'm fucking tired of this shit. I tried to log back on to my wiring DJ. I'm still banned on that shit, nigga. What the fuck going on with that, bro? Don't make me find you, bro. Let me catch your ass like Ronnie. Oh God, nigga. When I find you, that's your ass, nigga. Ronnie say he wants some beef with me. What? Ronnie say he wants some beef with me.
Hell no, that nigga don't want no beef. Yeah. He don't want no fucking smoke.
Fuck Ronnie. Fuck 2K. Pulling your block with that AK. Yeah. Fuck Ronnie. Fuck 2K. Pulling your block with that AK. Ronnie say he wants some beef with me.
God, that nigga don't want no smoke. He don't want no smoke.
Ronnie say he wants some beef with me. Whoa. Hey, fuck Ronnie. Fuck 2K. Pulling your block with the AK. Fuck Ronnie. Fuck 2K. Pulling your block with the AK.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy James. Hope it's all good for you, cause it's all good for me. NBA 2K in recent memory has been full of cringy cutscenes, ridiculous animations, and Ronnie 2K being hungry for your money. No wonder why LD laughed. But since NBA 2K19 about to come out in 5 days, and it's gonna be the 20th anniversary of the franchise, I figured why not make a video about every single NBA 2K cover athlete and how their season played out. Before I do that, let me give you some rules, alright? Number 1, if the cover athlete is an NBA legend, then I'll give my opinion about that game. Number 2, if a game had more than one cover athlete, then I'll talk about all the players' seasons in that cover. Number 3, if for some reason the player has been in consecutive 2K covers, then I'll talk about his span. Number 4, I'll solely talk about the regular edition of the game, not the legend editions. Number 5, enjoy.
He says you're not gonna believe this.
This is happening, yo. It's happening. It's happening, DJ.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it.
1999 was a good start for the shooting guard from Georgetown. In January that year, he received a 6-year, $70 million contract from Philly. Then in November, he was the first cover athlete in an NBA 2K game. But 2 seasons later, he started having beef with Commissioner Stern because he had an unreleased rap album where he was talking about gays and women and just insulting them basically. But despite all that, he was still the cover of NBA 2K1, and he also had probably his best and most memorable season as a pro in 2000-2001. He was averaging 31.1 points, 3.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 2.5 steals. He also was the league's MVP, becoming the shortest player in league history to do so. And he led Philadelphia to the best record in the East at 56-26. The reason the season was so memorable was because everyone remembers about Game 1 of the 2001 NBA Finals, where the underdog from Hampton, Virginia defeated the unstoppable Lakers led by Kobe and Shaq, dropped 48 points on Kobe's head, and crossed the out of Tyronn Lue. Even though the next 4 games of the series were pretty much forgettable, Game 1 will mark down as one of the greatest moments in not only AI's career, but in NBA history in general. But unfortunately, things got to turn the worst. After the 2002 playoffs where the Sixers lost to the Boston Celtics, AI said this.
We in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Frustrated as he was, in the 2002-2003 season, the Sixers traded away Dikembe Mutombo to the New Jersey Nets. The reason this was so frustrating for AI because Mutombo was his best player during his 5-year span when he was the 2K cover athlete. And so after the Sixers lost to Detroit in the second round of the 2003 playoffs, the Sixers let go of Larry Brown, who AI said was without a doubt the best coach in the world. And with new coaches Randy Ayers and Chris Ford being part of the team, the Sixers missed the playoffs in 2004 for the first time since '97, as AI missed 34 games that year. Fortunately, in those 5 years where AI was the 2K cover athlete, Iverson was averaging 29 points, 4 rebounds, 5.3 assists, shot 40% from the field, had 2.5 steals, and 3.6 turnovers. As for his accomplishments, he was a 3-time scoring champion, 5-time All-Star, 3-time steal leader, and ultimately the most valuable player in 2001.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it.
After the Pistons upset the Lakers in the 2004 NBA Finals, they seemed to have all the momentum in the world, right? And Coach Larry Brown, who just left the Sixers in 2003, seems to be very significant in this video already. You'll see why in a minute. However, the season was going in a good start until the infamous Mouse in the Palace. And as I was recording this video, just watching those highlights was really cringe to me. And just like every NBA fan knows about Game 1 of the 2001 NBA Finals, everyone has heard of Mouse in the Palace. And the weird thing is that Ron Artest started all with his hard foul, but 2K5 cover athlete Ben Wallace retaliated with a shove. This then led to bedlam, with punches being swung, food being thrown, kids in tears, and suspensions being given. Unfortunately, Ben Wallace will be suspended for 6 games. But as the old saying goes, you can't define a person on just one thing. As Ben Wallace that season in 04-05 averaged 9.7 points, 12.2 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and had 2.4 blocks. He also won his one of his 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards in his career and was a part of the All-NBA Defensive First Team in the process. The Pistons would finish 54-28 with the second best record in the East behind the Heat squad of Shaq and D. Wade. And so in the first round, Larry Brown decimated his former team, the Sixers. Then in the second round, they got their revenge against the Ron Artest-less Pacers in 6 games. Next was the 2005 Eastern Conference Finals. And Detroit was in an odd situation. They were down 2-3, but they were still able to come back because Wade was hurt in Game 6. And Wallace and his squad took advantage as they won the next 2 games of that series. And in the NBA Finals, they again were down 2-3. This time they had to face the Spurs big 3 of Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, who just recently separated as of this video. And Detroit won Game 6, but Duncan's 25 points and 11 rebounds on 37% shooting were enough to defeat Detroit in Game 7 of the 2005 NBA Finals. Everyone played like in that game, and the series in general was dull like every Spurs game. And throughout the 2005 playoffs, Ben Wallace averaged 10 points, 11.3 rebounds, 1.7 steals, and 2.5 blocks. Oh, and remember when I said Larry Brown's very significant? Well, after the Pistons lost, they just fired him. Yeah, after Larry Brown led the Pistons to 2 NBA Finals in a row. This is why the Pistons are still an ass team.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it.
A month before being the cover of 2K6, the 30-year-old Shaq signed a 5-year, $100 million contract extension to stay with the Miami Heat. Now, you may be thinking, okay, that's a lot of money, but Shaq easily missed out on 5 years, $150 million. That means that he would have had $30 million a year. And his agent at the time, Perry Rogers, puts it, Shaq can name his price, and the price he named was winning. To prove this, in the 2005-2006 season, Shaq had career lows in minutes, points, rebounds, and assists. The reason for this was because Pat Riley wanted to prepare Shaq well enough for the 06 playoffs, and also, that was the reason why he played 59 games that year. And the 2006 Heat were nicknamed 15 Strong because they had a stacked roster of veterans like Alonzo Mourning, Jason Williams, Antoine Walker, and Gary Payton, and young guys like Dwayne Wade and Udonis Haslem. With all that said though, the Heat were second in the East with a 52-30 record behind Detroit. In the first round, they matched up against a young Bulls squad, but Shaq decimated the Bulls with 30 points and 20 rebounds in Game 6 to close that series. We go straight to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Heat are up 3-1, so easily the Heat could just go to the NBA Finals, right? But no, this play happens to give Detroit some hope.
O'Neal deep in the post.
Even though the 2005 cover blocked out the 2006 cover, NBA 2K6 came back with a 28, 60 rebound, and 5 block performance in Game 6 to give the Heat its first NBA Finals appearance in franchise history. Going to the match against the Dallas Mavericks, the Heat were the underdogs, as Dirk Nowitzki was out of this world. And they became even bigger underdogs when they were down 2-0 already when the series started. But Dwayne Wade's 34.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 3.8 assists in the finals gave Miami its first championship. As for Shaq, he had a mediocre 3.7 points and 10 rebounds. You can just look at this quote from Shaq. This would further prove how much he really wanted to win and the pay cut that he took, like I mentioned before. And for all you triggered Mavericks fans that are still bitching that the 06 finals was rigged, you got your championship in 2011, so stop complaining. Anyways, even though I highly praise the 06 championship for the Heat, the team went downhill the following year. To prove this, both Wade and the cover of 2K7, Shaq, were both missing games due to injuries. Wade played only 50 games, and Shaq only played 40 games, and the Heat were 44-38 and 4th in the Eastern Conference. And in the first round, the 07 playoffs, the Heat were swept by the Bulls, and they were defending champions too.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it.
At just 22 years old and in his third season of the league, the point guard for Wake Forest became an all-star for the first time in his career, and he definitely deserved it as he had 21.1 points and led the league with both 11.6 assists and 2.7 steals. Paul and his Hornets squad won 56 games that year, and they were good enough to be second in the West and first in the Southwest Division. And despite Paul being just in his third season, like I said before, he was both in the All-NBA first team and the All-NBA defensive first team, but he was second in MVP voting behind, you guessed it, the Black Mamba. And it's crazy because a lot of people were thinking that Chris Paul should have won MVP over Kobe. It's still a debate to this day. And so skipping to the playoffs, Chris Paul became the first player in NBA history to have at least 30 points and 10 assists in his first 2 career playoff games against the Dallas Mavericks. Eventually, they defeated the 7th-seeded Mavericks in 5, but unfortunately, they lost to the 17th Spurs in the semifinals. But the 2007-2008 Hornets made history thanks to Chris Paul. That season marked the first time the Hornets won the Southwest Division and won a 7-game playoff series in franchise history. Yeah, that's how trash they are.
I know that it's difficult. I'm stacking this paper, it's sorta habitual. I blow the residual and fucking your bitch like it's part of my ritual.
After winning his first NBA championship in 2008 and saying anything's possible, Garnett and his Big Four squad of Rondo, Pierce, Allen, and himself were looking to repeat. And so Garnett, despite only having 15.8 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks for the season, he became an All-Star for the 12th consecutive time in his career. However, after the All-Star break, Garnett will suffer a strained right knee injury while attempting an alley-oop. He missed 14 games because of that. And Dom2K, a very popular YouTuber, he's a Celtics fan himself, and he cringes every time he sees that moment. It triggers him so much. He did try to come back, but the injury was just too much for him. And because Garnett was injured, the Celtics were eliminated by the Orlando Magic in the second round in the 2009 playoffs.
Part on the visual, but money you give me a heart on a typical. I wanted it physical, $1 million I count up in intervals.
2009-2010 may go down as probably Kobe Bryant's best season of his career, or probably one of his best. But not only was he the cover of 2K10 and he looked like a light skin, but he also had an astonishing, get this guys, 6 game-winning shots for that season. Besides his amazing clutchness, Kobe signed a 3-year, $87 million contract extension with the Lakers. And Kobe would end the season doing typical Kobe things as he averaged 27, 5, and 5, like he always did. And the Lakers were the best in the West. In the playoffs, they had an easy road to the finals as they defeated the Young Thunder in the first round, the Jazz in the second round, and the Suns in the conference finals. All that mattered was the NBA Finals and the rematch between Boston and LA. And in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, it was a very defensive-minded game. Low scoring, I mean, maybe the game was rigged, like, I don't know. And it was definitely more intense than this year's finals, you know what I mean? But with all that said though, Kobe may have hit many clutch shots in the regular season, but he didn't have to do it in Game 7, as Ron Artest hit that game winner to close the game out, and Sasha Vucic hit clutch free throws, so Kobe can win his 5th NBA title.
Without it, I'm miserable. Don't wanna fall off, so I'm all in my bag. Thinking God like it's biblical. I know it's gonna solve every problem I have. I bought on the principle. Remember the teachers was all on my ass. Now look all of them pitiful. And all of a sudden, I'm so good at math.
Personally, I haven't played 2K11, and my opinion may not be as valid. However, I do like the idea of the Michael Jordan challenge. Also, I've seen Chris Blue's My Career series, and the game seemed really fun to play. And that's just my quick review of the game. I can't give too much opinions about it because I never played it. That's the end of part 1, guys. Yeah, it was part 1 because doing every single series would just take way too damn long. So this is gonna be part 1. You're gonna see the rest of the covers and how their seasons played out in part 2. So subscriber, you new, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for more notifications. I make videos every Thursday. Part 2 will be on Thursday. Alright, so if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, like I said already. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah, hear about Hardwood, Amino, and Twitter accounts on the screen. And this was your boy James. Hope it's all good for you, cause it's all good for me. I'm out, guys.
40 seconds is all I got to make sure I survive or didn't get shot. I look at this guy, man, what do you think he's doing? Thinking that I'm dead, man, he must be tripping. 2 dead, 1 left to go. New tube in my ass, man, that ain't the way to go. So I return and take my revenge, and guess what? What? You did, amigo. Yo, and I want to thank the 50 subscribers. Thank you guys, really appreciate it. really
I want to thank the 50 subscribers. Damn! Jesus Christ, 4 years and now I have almost 7 million. No matter how many subscribers I had, I was always thankful.